So today we're going to do functions. So what is a function? So a function looks like this. And the way a function works is by imagining it works like a machine. So whatever you put in this number, so whatever you put inside this bracket, that is what goes inside the machine. And in the machine, whatever number you put here, where the x is, that will replace the x that is here. For example, in the first question, we have f brackets 4 close brackets. So that means wherever we find x in the function, we have to put 4. So instead of saying 2x, we say 2 brackets 4 plus 4, which equals 8 plus 4, which equals 12. Now let's do that. Now let's do the same with the next question. Wherever we see x, we're going to plug in minus 10. So that's what we're plugging into the machine. So the machine says, so inside the machine, we're plugging in minus 10. So now we're going to replace that for x. So we're going to write 2 brackets minus 10 plus 4, which equals minus 20 plus 4, which equals minus 16. Now, when you go to part C, we see it starts looking a bit different. What's inside the bracket is exactly the same as it was originally. Originally it was f of x, f brackets x, and now it's still fx. What we need to understand, right, is this thing, the f brackets x, and this part, they're both equal to each other. Because it's like how 4 equals 4. It doesn't matter which way you write it around the equal sign, they're both the exact same number. This side and this side are exactly the same. So it doesn't matter if you write it as 2x plus 4 equals f brackets x, or you write it the original way around. This concept is important to understand for the last question because instead of writing f brackets x, we can write all of this stuff. 2x plus 4. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So instead of writing f of x, we're going to write 2x plus 4 because they're both equal to each other. So we can write either one equals 10. And now just solve the equation like we normally do. So bring the 4 over to the other side. And whenever you move a number from one side to the other, it changes sign. So that'll become minus 4. So 10 minus 4. And that equals 6. And now we divide both sides by 2, which equals 3. Now moving on to the next question. So instead of f of x, it's written gx here. And also the equal thing is changed. So now it's x plus 7 divided by 3. In the first question, we've got inside the brackets, we've got 5. That means wherever we see x, we have to write 5. So let's rewrite the equation. We write 5 plus 7 divided by 3, which equals 12 divided by 3, which equals 4. Now let's move on to the next question. Wherever we see x, we have to write minus 8. So we have to write minus 8 plus 7 divided by 3, which equals minus 1 over 3. It's just that simple. Now the last question is quite difficult. So let's rewrite the equation out again. So the original equation was x plus 7 divided by 3. So with this equation, g of x equals this. That means they both are exactly the same. So instead of writing g of x, I can literally write out this again. So I'm going to write x plus 7 divided by 3 instead of writing this, because they both are equal to each other. So I can write any of these two out. Equals 4. Now I'm going to times both sides by 3. X plus 7 equals 12. And now I'm going to move the 7 over to the other side. And whenever you move a number from one side to the other, it changes sign. So that'll become minus 7. And then x will equal 5. Now moving on to question number 3. So we've got hx equals x squared plus 5x. So wherever you see x, now we're going to plug in 2, because 2 is within the brackets, which means we have to plug in 2 into the machine. And the only numbers we can swap in the machine are where the letters are. So instead of writing x squared, you're going to write 2 squared plus 5 times 2. So all the numbers I am substituting in, I'm putting them in brackets. So that will then equal 4 plus 10, which equals 14. Now moving on, we got h brackets minus 3. So wherever I see x, I have to put minus 3. So that will equal brackets minus 3 squared plus 5 brackets minus 3. And the important thing to remember with this one is a negative number squared equals a positive number, because two negatives always equal a positive. So minus times a minus will always equal positive. Minus 3 times minus 3 equals positive 9. That's something really important to remember. And then 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. 9 take away 15 is 6. That's our answer right there. Now moving on to the final question. Hx equals 0. So first I will rewrite the equation. So h brackets x equals x squared plus 5x. So both of these sides are equal to each other. So it doesn't matter how you write them out. They're both exactly the same. Like how we say 4 equals 4. They're both identical to each other. So instead of writing hx here, I'm going to write out x squared plus 5x equals 0. And now I'm just going to factorize by taking a factor of x out. That will leave me with x plus 5. To make this equation equal 0, either this x has to equal 0, or this part here has to equal 0. So I'm going to make that x plus 5 equals 0. Move the 5 over to this side. So we get x equals. Whenever you move a number from one side to the other, it changes sign. That means this will be equal x equals minus 5.